On live.
Make sure you ask what we're all playing.
And here we are. Move over, kids. We are live. It's Sunday night, and we're going to talk the PS5. Don't worry. This isn't becoming the Sony channel. It's we bleed Nintendo here, but we appreciate all video games except for Xbox. Just kidding. Just kidding. I just don't have much experience with Xbox. I borrowed an Xbox once and played Fable. And I think that was it.
Fable's another game I wish would come back.
But, guys, let's talk that PS5. What did you guys think of the reveal? Devin, you're green right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why that is, to be honest.
That's all right. It's like jaundice, kind of, but green. Yeah, Kermit disease. David, what were you, as you yawn? Was that your interpretation of the PS5 reveal? Just a giant yawn.
It could be in like a good chunk of the presentation. Yeah.
Why? What did you didn't like it?
Overall, I'd say it was like a 5 or a 6 out of a 10.
Well, PS5 got a 5 out of 10.
I've seen better E3 presentations from Sony, just to put it in perspective.
To be fair, it wasn't an E3 presentation, but
I know.
We all knew it was.
Right. But I think that in comparison, like last year's was pretty great. But this, I don't know. I guess my main thing.
What's up, Nick?
I just, and I know that there's the act of diminishing returns, right? When you went from PS2 to PS3, it's like, pores on the face. That's big, Resistance, Fall of Man, or whatever, that tech demo with like 64 people playing at the same time.
Uh-huh.
I know we all remember that from like 2005 or 2006. That was crazy. And then, I still remember vividly 7 years ago when they announced the PS4 with like Infamous Second Son and like the Order 16. I forgot the whatever, but those games like blew me away too. But I just didn't have that game here. It felt like really pretty PS4 games,
Yeah, I can see that.
And I know that
a couple of the games that they launched are they're touting GT5 and Spider-Man. Those are GT5 is a PS3 game and Spider-Man's a PS4 game.
And I don't want my interpretation to just be, hanging on the laurels of graphical prowess. I've never been a graphics guy, but Sony and Microsoft are known to have graphical prowess. So I think the tech demo that Unreal had a couple weeks ago was more impressive than what I saw. I don't know, like Sackboy looks fun, but it just looks like a Media Molecule just kind of said, hey, let's make this our last PS4 game. And it's not. It's a PS5 game. It's just there's just so many games where I'm just like, it's not quite there. It's not like Ratchet and Clank looks great. Oddworld, that's really probably one of the saving graces of the show. Spider-Man looks great, but it just has that DLC feel to it. So that's where I'm coming from. That's really where I'm coming from. And dude, don't get me wrong. I love all the consoles. Pretty much, Nintendo biasly it beats the 3.
Yeah, same here. I mean,
but for 10 years, since a freshman in high school, I've been on the Sony train, and then recently in the last 2 years with Microsoft, they've really put out some showstoppers as well. So this isn't like a console fanboy thing or anything. This is just looking from I want to say like the most objective perspective that I can offer. So.
What about you, though, Devin? You were like, it's lit. It's awesome. Tell me about your thoughts.
Well, I honestly just thought it was pretty cool. I mean, the console itself looks funky. I think it looks neat.
There's a lot of memes going around.
Yeah.
I saw a meme where it's the PS5 on a duck face, so it's like a bill.
The one that I saw is somebody put their router standing up with 2 pieces of white paper standing next to it.
There's that Gordon Ramsay meme where he's got the 2 slices of bread over the
person. Oh yeah.
Like, what are you? I'm an idiot sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody went and they put the shells. Like, what are you? I'm a PS5.
But yeah, like David said, I thought the games looked pretty good. I can understand what you're talking about because it doesn't like back when we went from like the PS2 to the PS3 and then the 3 to the 4, there was like graphical jumps. There was a lot of crazy stuff that they could suddenly do. Now it's just we have like prettier games that run a little faster. I can see. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yep.
So we don't have that really like smack you in the face difference anymore. So, but I can understand how much further can we go.
Right.
But either way, I think the games look amazing. I was like blown away to finally see Oddworld Soulstorm. I've been wondering where that game went, and I was hoping that it didn't get canceled.
Yeah, me too.
And Godfall looks pretty sweet. I thought that it looks like an amazing game, and I'm definitely going to get that if I end up getting the PS5. And what was the other one? I'm blanking on the Sackboy game looked okay. I thought it was going to be like another Little Big Planet, like actual Little Big Planet game. But
I'm wondering if it is, and they just didn't call it Little Big Planet.
Well, it seems like it's strictly like a side-scrolling platformer, just by the video.
All right, I'm wondering if maybe they didn't show enough of it or something. I don't know.
That could be. I don't know, but I mean, I can understand how it's going to appeal to certain people. But because I went from Little Big Planet, I love that game, and to this, I'm probably gonna skip by that one. But
it could be like Mario 64 though. I mean, when Mario made the jump to the 3D world,
That is true. I mean, it does look like it's slating up to be a sweet game. Miles Morales Spider-Man, though, that I think is the big title that's really going to sell that console.
From what I'm hearing, it's an expansion, not a separate game.
No, it is a standalone game. That's where everybody keeps getting mixed up.
Yeah, I keep seeing people say it's an expansion.
I keep hearing both. But when I hear it's a like standalone game, but it's kind of like, I don't know if it's going to be like a 10-hour game, though, or something like that.
The way that I'm understanding it, or at least the way it's making sense in my head, is that it is a standalone game, that it's going to I think it's going to include the original Spider-Man game that we know already.
That'd be great.
And it's going to have like another section where you break off and play as Miles.
Like an epilogue or like
beat Miles or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm understanding it, is because we keep hearing two different stories, that it's standalone and it's an expansion. So that's the only way I can make sense of it in my head.
Yeah. And I guess another part where points are actually, rightfully so docked from the presentation is no price point, no release date.
Yeah.
Price point hurts.
We're halfway through the year and Microsoft and Sony are still playing chicken, and I know it's marketing and business, and that whole sense I understand. But this is like where you bring out the big guns, man. Sony just has to be like, you know what, $5.99.
Yeah, why not get people accustomed to the custom?
We already got a price point technically by two different stores. Apparently, Target dropped the discless version, the digital version.
What was the price on it?
It said $3.99 apparently, but it disappeared.
Okay, so
I don't think that's the actual price.
$3.99.
I don't know. $3.99 for all digital console, I think actually makes perfect sense, because just what are they apparently having to do with the PS5. I think that the base console is going to be either like $4.99 or $4. It's got to be, because I feel like that extra $100 would take away the disk drive. You know what I mean?
Well, the other retailer was listing it at $700.
Yeah, Play Asia put it up at $700.
I did see that.
I think that was honestly that already disappeared.
Play Asia always jacks up the price, though.
Exactly. I think it's going to be either a $4.99 for the base, and then $3.99 for the digital.
But I think they put the price higher as a situation where we don't know what the price is yet. This is what we're going to set it as, and once we know what the actual price is, we then price match down.
I wonder if anyone did buy it.
Whereas if they put it up for $500. And then all of a sudden they find out that it's $600. Well, now they can't go charge people an extra $100. They can only go high and lower it. They can't increase the price on people.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be funny if they just tack on like $2,000 for every console.
And my other question
and
is the PSVR going to be usable, or are they going to randomly spring out with the new one?
I would hope so, man. I would hope so because, in my opinion, Sony has provided the most affordable and user-friendly form of VR. In my opinion, you've got Hive and you've got Oculus, and those things are over $1,000 easily. With peripherals and whatnot.
Yeah, but then you got to have the room space. You have to have the cameras and all that crap in the corners and everything.
Yeah, and I would say Sony makes it the most accessible for like a casual crowd. I would say
They definitely do,
which is good.
I had a PS VR for a short time. I loved it. I thought it was really cool. My only thing is like I couldn't stand how the lenses would fog up. I don't know if it's just me, but
Yeah.
I could not. They would fog up because just from getting too hot.
A lot of Five Nights at Freddy.
Well, I didn't get to play that when I had it. And the other thing, I couldn't get it to focus properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to try it at Best Buy, and no, I enjoyed my experience with it, but I just haven't picked one up, and I'm wondering if the prices on them are going to go really cheap. During the holidays, once the PlayStation 5 is dropping.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if I see one for $200, I'll pick it up because I've always wanted to play Resident Evil 7 on it.
Yeah, because
I heard Resident Evil 7
really
was
low
like
prices, but it's been a matter of what they came with.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7. I tried that when I had it, and oh boy,
how far'd you get?
Not very far. They had that game. I forget what it's offshoot of that game called Until Dawn. It's called Rush of Blood. That game was cool. That was probably my favorite one besides the Rick and Morty game. And it really kind of made you feel like you're on a roller coaster. And I'm scared of those. So yeah, it really did its job.
Dude, I play games with heights in them, like Uncharted or something, and I get scared or jumpy.
I don't get that often. The only time I've really had a problem with heights was in Spider-Man with the Spider-Man Homecoming during the scene in DC, because I was watching a 3D version, and I'm sure you guys have seen when you're watching movies in 3D. It starts out where, all right, I'm seeing the 3D really well, and then as you're going through the movie, you can't see the 3D as much. you stop noticing it.
Yeah.
Well, it gets to that scene where he's at the top and he's looking down, and that got me. I'm in the theater. I'm in the big IMAX theater.
Oh, well, yeah, that's probably why.
And he's looking down, and I got vertigo from it.
I bet.
Wow.
Isaac Tuner asked a question if anybody knew how to transfer save data from their Switch. I know how to do it, but I don't know how to explain it offhand. I've done it before.
Save data, it was really simple. I just did it with my Animal Crossing Switch, but now I'm blanking on how to do it. Darn it.
Yeah.
It was really simple, though. I'm pretty sure all you need to do is just log on to your PSN account. Why am I saying that? Nintendo account, and then it just logs everything in because of the cloud save.
Yeah, it's something along the lines of going to the system settings, and then there's something about transferring, and you have to set up the system you're going to transfer to first, and then you have to set up then you have to do the one that you're transferring from. It's a little complicated, but it's really easy at the same time. I wish I had a better explanation for you. I would just say, it takes how long did it take me to do that?
The save data took really short time. The downloading all the games again took forever.
Yeah, you gotta download everything again. I would say, honestly, just YouTube it. Just YouTube some videos. I'm sure there's some tutorials out there. Maybe not by the popular YouTubers, but because I don't think I've seen Spawn Wave or anybody do a tutorial on that. I almost did one once, but I ended up deciding not to because it was just too complicated to show how to transfer everything and the share screens. But I'm sure it's out there. I wish I had a better answer for you, Isaac. Sorry about that. But
it's all good.
Going back to the PS5, what about you, William? You didn't have any thoughts on the PS5 reveal?
Yeah, it's a reveal. I
think that sums it up.
I woke up halfway through it. I planned on waking up before it started, and I ended up waking up halfway through it.
At least you didn't fall asleep halfway through it, though. That would even be worse.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was waking up from sleeping during the day. I mean, we got to see what it looks like. I have no real issues with what it looks like. You know, a system's a system.
Yeah.
I think it does look
cool.
Huh?
I think it looks cool.
It's
think it looks
huge,
cool?
by the way. It's so big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm seeing more meme pictures where there's like 5 of the Xboxes all standing there looking down on the PS5 like you've come to the wrong neighborhood. Like, from what I've seen, the new Xbox it's smaller. It's a lot smaller.
Yeah. I think it's only 6 inches wide. It's deceivingly small. And
Well,
it's
it
I think
looked like it was at least like 4 controllers standing on top of each other.
yeah,
though.
I did see
Oh.
that. Yeah, but that's what, a foot.
It's if you had the PlayStation 3 standing on its side, it's taller than that.
Huh.
And what about the fact that they made some real design choices with this one? Because
Yeah.
like when you lay it
is
down
very
on its side, it has to have a stand. Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
It's because of that curved bottom side.
Yeah, like why would they do that? To me, that's just like whether or not it looks cool, it has to function well at the same time. You know, the PS3 could be on its, vertical or sideways. It looked good either way, but maybe it looked better sideways. But hey, Nick Clanton, thanks a lot. He just threw $5 our way, saying, "I love you guys." Well, we love Nick Clanton.
So what do you?
There is one thing I'm really annoyed at with the system. I'm a little pissed, and I'm wondering if it was a decision. This is my conspiracy theory.
Let's hear it. Let's hear
Yeah.
it.
So the difference between the regular model and the all digital model, the all digital is very symmetrical.
Oh yeah, I can see.
I'm wondering if they did that on purpose for the people that are like, well, I don't know if I want to get an all digital system or if I want a system that plays the discs. Oh, my OCD is acting up. I can't get around the fact that the one that takes the disc isn't symmetrical. I'm going with the digital one.
Mm. Good point.
But that is funny though. But like, wouldn't you want to push people to the more expensive item though?
No, because they make more money on the digital.
No, I don't know how much it's going to cost to make this system, but I'll use the PlayStation 3 as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone to this day still complains that $600 for the 60 gig PlayStation 3 was too expensive. It was the cheapest. It was the cheapest Sony branded Blu-ray player out on the market at the time. And the cost to produce that system was almost $900. They were losing almost $300 per system they sold. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sony wants people to buy digital only. It's just they want to be there. Gamers don't want them there, but we're getting closer.
And I'm not spending $60 on a digital game. Like, I'm sorry, companies that want to push that, but I am not spending that money. If I'm going to spend $60 on something digitally, well, I don't know what it would be, but I'm simply not going to do it.
Right. And then there's also, if it's an all digital system, you don't own these games, right? So if the web goes down, if it does, you lost these games. Unless they give you the option to back up to a hard drive. And then there's also that. It's like how big are these storage capacities going to be for the digital systems?
One day the games will be gone, though.
Because if you have to play Tetris, this last week I've been playing The Last of Us Remastered, and just that is a huge game, right? It's a very pretty, taxing game on the PlayStation, but it was 3, but it was remastered to the PS4. I had to delete Destiny 2. I had to delete Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then I had to play Tetris just to fit it in there. And that's my worry, is for an all digital system, people are going to be downloading games left and right. At what point? I mean, is it going to be 2 terabytes? Is it going to be 5 terabytes?
the Target listing that went up said 2 terabytes for the digital system. So
Do you think that's enough, in your opinion?
I don't know. I have the 2 terabyte Xbox One S or X or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
And it took me a while, and I have a lot of games on mine. It took me a while to fill that up, but I also have a lot of Xbox 360 stuff that I downloaded ages ago, and those are nowhere near as big as Xbox One titles.
Right.
And
So
you're a predominant Nintendo fanboy though. So it's like if you're a predominant Sony fanboy, how quick are you gonna fill that up?
I have a feeling because the games are probably going to be gigantic. Like I don't see how they couldn't be. So I don't know. I have a feeling that hard drive is going to fill up like that. If you,
I'm looking to see how big, like how much space I'm taking in my on my PS3. Let me grab my controller.
the only reason I still have my PS3 is because of the Scott Pilgrim game,
Which might be making a comeback.
Because I have an 8 terabyte external hard drive for my PlayStation 4.
So that's pretty much, for me, what I have to say about the event and the console. I think it's Microsoft, it's your move, right? And another, like the PS5 is a logical name. It makes sense. And by the way, the PS2 and the PS4, in my opinion, are still the best designed consoles by Sony. Mm-hmm. The PS4, the baseline PS4, is still a genius design, in my opinion, except for the glossy part that gets scuffed up. I understand.
I hated that, especially with the original Xbox One.
Right. I totally get that. But the later revisions were like all matte or like some of the special editions. Beautiful console. The PS2 is also a very pretty console. Just when I look back and I look at all the special editions, the PS3, the fat one, it's not as ergonomic, but it's nostalgic and it's nice. But this PS5, I don't know. It's not really making me be like, oh, Home Alone face. It's just.
The only way I'm going to get to that point is if they have a special edition. Like if they release a special edition for Miles Morales, I think I might jump on it.
Yeah, and I think Ronald asked a question in the chat, and he said, "Are we getting the PS5 launch day?" And for me personally, Ronald, I'm not. But I am. Your second part of that question, it's if Sony upgrades to PS5 Pro like 2 years later, and it looks better, maybe a little bit slimmer, then that's probably when I'll jump on board, because by then my PS4, the gas has probably run out, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to transition to the PS5. But right now they're saying Resident Evil 8 is a next gen exclusive. They canceled the current gen, so that might entice me to jump over, because I'm a big
pretty.
RE
fiend. The rumor that Silent Hill might actually come back. I would hope, but we'll see.
I just looked at how much space I'm using up on my systems here for my so my PlayStation 4. It's a one terabyte, so there's like 872 gigabytes on the system. I'm taking up 353 gigabytes. My external has 7.35 terabytes. I'm taking up 2.69 terabytes. So, as somebody who is not a digital person,
yeah, that says something right there.
Yes,
that does.
But you got those people that all they do is buy the latest Call of Duty or the latest FIFA or the latest NFL hockey, and that's all they'll pick up. And for them, a system that has like 500 gigabytes is fine, because they'll never buy anything else.
Right. For a lot of people, it really is, like you said, Will, it's just a sports game and like a Hulu machine. That's it. It's and hey, they're giving Sony the money, and they're gonna buy FIFA every single year. They're gonna buy these games, and that's a huge part of the consumer base. And depending on how you look at it, that's a good thing or a bad thing. For Sony, they don't care. The money comes in, but.
And Ronald in the chat brings up a very good point, something we don't know yet, and I thought they would mention about the backwards compatibility, what's going to be backwards compatible with. They said PlayStation 4 originally, but they haven't said anything else since then, and they've started to say like select games.
I doubt it. I bet it's just PS4.
All of them.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be PS4. I don't see I know a lot of the fan base wants it, but I just don't see it happening.
When they gave the presentation before, they had all that space, like they showed the chip there, and they put PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, and they had all this space there for additional systems that they could announce right there and then, and they didn't do it.
They know we want it. They know we want it. So why would they hold it back?
I don't even think Microsoft announced backwards compatibility that far either.
And yeah, and EPS is saying only the top 100. Oh, okay. So it's going to be every single effing FIFA, every single Call of Duty, my collection would be useless to play on the system then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Maneater then would make the cut.
Well, I mean, Spider-Man, yeah, that's probably going to be one that'll play. Diablo 3, probably not. Let's see.
They're probably just going to release another
Skyrim,
Diablo.
maybe.
Are you guys
Bethesda? They'll probably release another version of Skyrim too.
speaking of Sony? You guys, The Last of Us, is that on y'all's radar at all?
Yes and no. So I still need to play and finish.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Out.
Oh, Devin, I keep thinking you've played this, man.
I know. I showed you. I bought it when my GameStop went out of business a little while ago, and I haven't really. I played through the first couple hours, and that was about it.
Yeah, I played through the first couple hours of the first one.
Tell me what Last of Us really is, because I just knew that it was a game that I couldn't play. So, describe Last of Us to me.
Yeah,
it's a post-apocalyptic game set in an actual world, rather than the way Fallout has kind of a fake world, but set in real life settings. But it's this what's the best way to describe it? This zombified.
It's a cordyceps fungus.
Yeah, it's like a virus, this fungus thing that infects people and kind of turns them into zombies.
Yeah, it's I just fired it up because I'm more so back then than now, just because I'm maybe growing out of it. But I was a big Naughty Dog fanboy, like big time in high school. Uncharted 2 was my peak, man. I loved Naughty Dog in those days for sure.
And Ken, I'd say watch the opening for The Last of Us. Watch the opening video for it, and see if the setting, that the situation leading up to the story, catches your attention.
Yeah.
So is it kind of like the Uncharted series, how it's a lot of it's just well, does it play like Uncharted 1 or 2?
It's got it. So when it was revealed so Uncharted 3 was released in November of 2011. And then that Christmas, the what was it? What did Jeff Keighley have back in the day? It was Spike TV. It was not before the Game Awards. I forgot that, but Naughty Dog revealed their new game at the end of the trailer. No one suspected it was Naughty Dog because Naughty Dog was only known to be an A-team type of studio. They only made one game at a time. But there was an Easter egg in Uncharted 3. If you go into one of the pubs in London, you could see a newspaper and it says fungus has, it's like a pandemic, kind of like a coronavirus title essentially. And people were like, oh, this is probably an Easter egg for another AAA studio by Sony for their next big game, right? Uh-huh. It was in their own Naughty Dog game, but no one suspected it was Naughty Dog themselves, which is crazy because, they didn't know that they were capable of doing multiple titles at a time. And of course, a month later at those VGA awards, I think they were called, the trailer rolls out. And it looks like Nathan Drake, man. It looks like lumberjack Nathan Drake, post-apocalyptic Nathan Drake. And then at the end, it shows Naughty Dog's logo, and you hear a unison of clapping and applause. And so what I'm trying to say here is that they've taken a lot of assets from the Uncharted series, a lot of the particle effects, a lot of some gameplay mechanics. You can't just climb like Nathan Drake. But there is a signature over the shoulder type of camera to it. It's a little bit more close quarters, and more intimate. You can't just like willingly jump like Nathan Drake.
Uh-huh.
It's much more grounded. It's based around crafting. It's a survival horror game, really. So you're going around town and you're scavenging supplies and you're crafting them into weapons, and you're fighting essentially humans and the cordyceps infected, which are zombie-like creatures. And it's survival horror, so it gets pretty dang scary. But now it's seen as Naughty Dog's magnum opus. This is back in 2013, and a year later they remastered it for the PS4 because the PS4 was announced similar to this. The PS4 was announced around this time in 2013, and the game was released in the summer of 2013. So Sony was probably like, let's do some cross pollination, right? Let's remaster the game a year later and have it launch with or not with the PS4, but now it's on the PS4. So a lot of those sales kind of migrated well over. So they saw like a really constant curve, which was really nice.
I think they're going to do that too with part 2. I
Part
think
2.
next year we're going to
totally doing that.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
We're getting GTA 5 again for the third generation. So I mean,
we're getting GTA 5 forever.
PlayStation Plus. If you have PlayStation Plus, you're getting it for free.
Yeah. So, but
what did you say it was cutting out?
What?
What did you say it was cutting out?
I said we're getting GTA 5 forever. Every generation, every generation console is getting it. The PS7 is getting it.
Yeah.
See, I'd like to see what they're gonna do. I think they're doing that also to kind of wet people's whistle, and especially with if somebody hasn't had the 3 or the 4, and they're picking up a PlayStation 5, and they have PlayStation Plus. Hey, here is a free game that we've done before. We've added a little bit of extra stuff to it, or we've kind of boosted the graphics of it. Did you like that? Well, here is 6 for you. Like here's the announcement for 6.
Well, there's the other thing that
theorizing what 6 is going to be.
The Astros Playroom is going to be free as well, from what I heard.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Hunter's right. It's going to be Skyrim also going to be on every system.
Yeah, I've seen the meme of that with the characters from VeggieTales being Grand Theft Auto 5, Skyrim, and Minecraft. Going, allow us to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, even Bethesda made fun of themselves for that one.
True, Bethesda did make fun of themselves.
But the Last of Us 2 is imminent, less than a week. So Fat Friday we should have our hands on it. I need to reserve it if I can still do that.
You can probably buy it no matter what.
I'm definitely gonna buy it. I just running through this game. I think I'm like maybe 65% of it through. You know, when I last played this game, I was 21 years old, and it was the summer of 2013. Different lifetime, really. And it's really nice to kind of just get back into that story. And I can really see how Naughty Dog was at the forefront twice. Once with Uncharted 2, and then with The Last of Us. You saw a lot of companies kind of follow suit. You know, you saw like Metro come out, and like what are some other games? I mean, like Days Gone is very similar to that. A lot of survival horror type games where you have to craft, and it's very grounded, and the story is very gritty. Like the Division. Division has a kind of a Last of Us feel to it as well. But I'm really excited because I know Naughty Dog had some bad press on their side about a month ago with the leak and everything. But the scores are off the charts, man. Like their Metacritic scores. I never really look at reviews or anything like that, but it's just surpassing some of the greatest of all time. And so I'm really excited, and I know this is a Nintendo focused podcast, but I just
I put the thumbnails PlayStation 5, so don't worry about it.
So I'm going to be playing that, and that's going to be. I suggest you guys catch up with the story. It's not a crazy super long game. I'm a collection, not a completionist, but I'm a collectionist. So I collect there are these little like dog tags that you can find that have Naughty Dog fans' names on it. So like back in 2012, 2013, there was this thing you could sign up, and it's like, hey, if you like Naughty Dog and you want to be in our game, sign up for this, and we'll draw a select amount of winners from this pool of just names. And one of my friends I was talking at the time, she's a huge Naughty Dog fan, more so than I was at the time. And she's in the game. She's a
Did you
her
ever
dog
collect her?
tag.
Did you ever collect her dog tag?
I'm not at that point yet.
No.
I think hers is probably later in the game.
Konami did the same thing with Metal Gear Solid 2. And in order to collect all of them, you had to play all the difficulty levels. So some of them like were really difficult to get. I think in order to get the ones for the developers and stuff, you had to play on the hardest setting.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
But you guys should play it. Try to beat it this week. I don't know if you guys.
What are the
have
boss
time.
battles like?
It
there
really,
boss battles?
It doesn't really have boss battles. It has like encounters where it's like, okay, that guy's a little bit stronger than the rest of the guys. You know, it's a very grounded story, so it's not like a big boss comes out with a health meter or anything. It's not anything to that nature. But there are moments where there are like quick time events where you have to be super responsive and your reflexes have to be on point.
Mm-hmm.
And there are also enemies that are like, this isn't a spoiler or anything, but they're called bloaters. So you've got a clicker, which is a person who's successfully been taken over by the parasite. So they click. They use echolocation to locate their victims, right? So they'll click and they'll kind of like claw at the air until they find you. So you have to be super quiet, but they're blind. Their eyes have been successfully like overgrown, so they can't see, but they can. Their sense of hearing is like impeccable. So they use echolocation to kind of find you. So if you step on a branch or you drop a beer bottle and it breaks, like that gives away your location. So it's a very intense moment, right? Those are clickers. Bloaters are clickers that have been infected for a really long time, and they kind of become overgrown with growths, and they're huge. So they like produce spores. They grab these growths from their body and they launch them at you, and they produce these spores that like suffocate you. So yeah, it's a really fun, scary, ugly game at times, and it's really dark. There's a lot of thematic elements to morality. You know, like what would you do in this situation? Save the person you love, or you know, look out for the greater good of mankind. And it kind of falls on those things, and it's such a great game. It really is. It's even 7 years later, it holds up. It really does hold up. So
Do you think that this is the last of the we were talking about digital and physical games? Do you think this is the last physical console war? Like, do you think they'll all be discless after this? I mean, it has to be gearing us up.
If they're discless after this, I will not pick them up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna either.
No, I will not pick up. The only exception being the Amico, and eventually I want to pick up an Ouya just to have it in the collection. But in terms of systems that I'm picking up to play games on at the time that games are being released for them, I am not picking up a system that's digital only. I won't pay the prices for the games.
What about you, Devin? Do you think this is the last one? I mean, the fact that they're releasing a digital only console, like, yeah, Xbox One did it, you know, the Xbox Sad Edition, but they did it like late into the.
Are you saying it because I mentioned it before?
The Sad Edition?
Yeah, that's what I called it.
Well, no, you're not the only one. It's literally called that all over the place.
Oh, other people called it that too?
Yeah,
yes.
It's kind of like
it's a thing. Maybe you started it, though.
The Xbox One X, XBOX. They basically spelled Xbox again.
No, but Xbox is apparently rumored to have one coming out for the new console too. That's that Project Lockhart that I keep hearing about. So it could be coming out with them as well.
But is this what do you say though? Will the PS6 have? Will it have will there be a PS7? Because will there be no discs for the PS6, and then the PS7 will just be in the cloud no matter what?
Unfortunately, just the way technology is going, I'm having a feeling it's going to happen. But I'm going to be done at that point.
And here's where it'll get interesting. They will announce, oh, by the way, you can play PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games on it, and they're gonna call it backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
It's like with the Vita. The Vita, like, it's backwards compatible with the PSP. Okay, where do I put my my discs into it? Oh no, it's digital. Well, then it's not backwards compatible to me.
Yeah, that is very true. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but I'm going to stick to my physical games. I like to actually have the games in my hand. It's a different thing. But maybe it's just because that's the generation we grew up in when it comes to gaming.
And there's a thing that the people that defend digital will say, like how you have your game right there, and you say, I own a copy of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their defense to that is, no, you don't. The company that made that game owns it. They have the rights. Okay, nobody, when they say they own the game, is claiming that they own the rights to the game. They own a physical representation of that data that they can put into their system. They can give to somebody else. They can turn into a coaster or whatever they want to do. They can make a frisbee out of it. They can do all those things because they own that physical representation. No one's claiming they can take the data because they own the data and do what they want with it.
Yeah.
Epic Gamer asks, do you think... Now, I didn't think of this. I don't... And he asked if digital consoles will be more expensive because of all the memory that they have to take. And no, I think digital only will be cheaper because...
Yeah, it's definitely going to be cheaper. The memory compression, like the way that's been working lately, it always gets cheaper.
They will either put the same size hard drive into that digital version, to maybe bring the cost down some for it, and tell people, if you want something bigger, add a hard drive to it, because they do have the space to put an additional hard drive. They're including that. They're allowing you to do that. They're telling people exactly what type of hard drive you can put into this. But at the same time, I've heard a thing that they're going to include a little bit of like extras, like, oh, if you buy the all digital version, it's going to include a headset and it's going to include this other thing. And that'll, if the price was lower, it's going to bring the price back up. So they could be the same price.
Yeah, if Sony was smart,
getting more stuff in it.
If Sony was smart, they would try to bare bones the digital as much as possible, because that's the crutch of why they haven't released the price yet, because it's too expensive. There's no way that this they're holding back the price as a pleasant surprise. No, they would have dropped it right then. It's like David said, they're playing chicken right now with Xbox, because Xbox hasn't revealed their price yet, and everybody's just like, what is it gonna be? Are we gonna lose $300 or are we gonna lose $400?
It's like, let people know, so people have time to save up.
Yeah, and I have a
feeling it's going to happen soon. We're going to get it.
Well, it has to be this year at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I've already got $400 that I got to set aside for both of my amigos. So there's that money set aside, and then the money I got to set aside for a PlayStation 5.
So is PlayStation 5 a day one for you?
It could possibly be one. The only Sony system that two Sony systems I picked up day one were the PlayStation 2 and the PSP. I got those on launch day. And let me tell you, people complain about the launch day games for the PSP. The games were fantastic for that little system.
Like, yeah,
PSP is a very underrated system.
There were some great games at launch.
Mega Man Powered Up. That game
Well,
was fantastic.
not a launch game, but a fantastic game that unfortunately didn't get a sequel because it didn't sell enough copies.
I know. I love the fact that you can make your own levels in that game. That was
You can make your own levels. It was a retelling of the story of the original Mega Man with 2 additional robot masters added to it, and the way that the characters were designed was so cute.
Yeah, I agree there. But are we still on the Sony thing? But there's one other thing I wanted to bring up.
Bring it up. We can go back to it.
The pre-order exclusives for the Origami King have been coming out.
Oh yeah, what are they?
Well, there's one in Japan that I'm thinking about ordering myself, because, and it's just like I said, they are releasing origami paper, which I thought was a stupid idea if they didn't do it. They are releasing an origami paper case that you can put the actual paper into. I think that's awesome. I think I'm going to get that one. And GameStop is getting a pin set, and I think there's one other one.
Oh yeah, the pin set.
I want them to release the paper here. That's what I want. That's definitely going to be a day one pickup for me, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, what is it, July 17th? Yeah, July 17th is when Paper Mario come out. I'm not 100% sold on the battle combat yet, though.
I'm not sold on it either. I mean, it looks weird, and it's probably going to take some getting used to, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a good game. But
partners are semi-confirmed, so that's a good thing, you know. And I think they changed one of the characters' names just to kind of appease the fans. Like one of the partners' names was just called Bob-omb. But since that trailer and the one that they released this week, his name is now Bobby.
Oh, nice.
To kind of make him a little bit more unique. But my theory is that he has amnesia, right? My theory is that he's going to make up a name every single time, which would be even more charming, in my opinion. So.
But David, you wanted to bring this up. So what are we all playing lately?
I'm playing The Last of Us right now. What about you guys?
Playing Animal Crossing. Playing a little bit of Path of Exile, just trying to get through it.
See you later, Nick. Thanks for joining us.
Playing Xenoblade.
Oh, nice.
I want to get farther into that than I got in the original version.
Yeah, I never played the original one. I'm going to wait until that game drops in pricing and probably grab it because I am interested.
So, but you're going to wait about 5 years then?
It's going to drop quicker than that.
Oh, it's a Nintendo first party game.
I don't know. But Ken, what have you been playing lately?
I haven't been playing much lately. I've been like kind of in a dry spell, to tell you the truth, and so maybe you guys can help me. What should I play? I've been like really considering Outer Worlds, but I just don't know about that first person perspective. And then
I bought it, but I haven't played it yet. I've been playing the crap out of BioShock.
If you want to send it to me for a while, I can tell you how it plays.
I'd say play some BioShock.
Yeah, BioShock is first person also, though.
Yes, but it's not the current generation of how first person games are. It's a single player.
Yeah, it's
first-person game.
Very, very different. It's such a fantastic game. Like David brought up the whole collectible thing inside of games. I just now realized that there's little sea slugs that you can find in that game that I didn't know about. So I beat through BioShock 2 without knowing they existed.
See you later, Ronald. Yeah, I don't know. I need to play something though, and that's why I'm so. If the PlayStation 5 was a year away, I would be buying a PlayStation 4 right now. But since it's coming out this year,
yeah, that's what I was saying when you were thinking about buying a PS4. I'm like, dude, you should just spring. It's gonna be pretty much like you're gonna be paying the same price at this point.
Yeah, but I don't know about buying a place. I'll tell you what, that design. I mean, I don't want to be like one of those guys, but the design of the PS5 really has turned me off of the PS5.
I kind of like it, and
I like it.
There's other colors for the system too.
What do you mean? There's other colors?
I've only ever seen white.
White. There's a black one, and there's a Miles Morales one.
Okay, but I'm not sure if those were confirmed though.
I thought they were confirmed.
No, I don't think they are confirmed.
Those are fake. I've been seeing posts all over the internet, and then all of a sudden there was one coming up for the Xbox One and Series X as well.
Cheese and rice
all over the place. Yeah, those are fake.
So yeah, And even if they were
really
black,
want that.
even if they were black, I still don't know if I'd want it because of the way it looks. I mean, and the fact that it needs a stand to be laying down, I just don't. Are you with me, David? You're a little more of an aesthetics kind of guy.
I'm definitely on your side with this because, aesthetics are a lot, and I know at the end of the day, it just plays the game, right? You don't even look at the system anymore, but the design just doesn't sit right with me, man. I don't know.
Yeah, there's something wrong with it. Like, it really has turned me off.
It feels like the obelisk from 2021 Space Odyssey or whatever that movie is called.
If it was just a big box, like if it was just like a stretched out PS4 Pro or something.
But we are getting a big box with the Series X.
The Xbox looks better.
I prefer that design, to be honest, for this current generation, for the next generation. It's just a little bit more simple. It's just a box. This one's like, I don't know. They didn't have to get
Alien technology.
they got a little bit too creative,
Yeah, like somebody they got like they were drinking or something when they came up with this one, and somehow it got pushed through.
Or Elon Musk is helping with the design.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the Tesla.
Or I think I sent you guys the picture with the two Darth Vaders. And the one standing in the background, your regular Vader costume is the PlayStation 4, and then there's this white pimp daddy Vader with a blue boa on, and it's a PlayStation 5.
Pretty much. Even Hunter, he just made an entertainment system. I mean, this is a legit concern, even though it's really petty, it seems. But Hunter just made a entertainment center, and where is he going to put it now? Where am I going to put it? How am I going to deal with my wife, like, looking at it? I know it's just a petty, it just, like David said, it just plays the games. Who cares what it looks like? But it does.
EPS, I've got to take a look at that one. There's a Pikachu mock-up of the PlayStation 5.
Oh, I saw the Pikachu mock-up.
Yeah, I could also see somebody doing one that makes it look like a pistachio.
Yeah,
where it's the color, like a pistachio color, and here's like the piece inside, like coming out.
That's funny.
It's like the shell's coming apart.
I saw one comparing it to Wally's girlfriend.
I saw another one that was comparing it to Saito Kaiba from.
Yes, I saw the Kaiba one.
I thought that was great.
Now, if they want to do something different than what the Amico's doing, they'll make it so you can change the color. Because the Amico, Tommy said that you can change the color of the
LEDs. Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping.
Sony should do that too.
There's a lot of people that do that type of thing that want something aesthetically pleasing to look at. I know you guys were saying that it looks kind of funky. It does, but then I also kind of like that it does because it stands out compared to everything else.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but to me, it stands out in the wrong way. It's like the Nintendo Switch stands out, but it stands out in the right way.
Well, we'll have to see. I'm just hoping that they do release some sort of like special edition, because that's the only thing kind of fighting me. Because like every time I am like a day one pickup on a game console, I hate that, because then I know down the line I'm just going to get the Animal Crossing Switch or the PS5 that has the Spider-Man logo on it or something like that. I like that they do it, but then it's annoying that they don't release it right away.
Yeah, but then
I like the Pikachu one. Now somebody do me a mock-up where it's burger buns and the black piece in the middle is colored like a burger.
The Burger Time Xbox.
Yes.
Or the Burger Time PS5, sorry.
And then on that piece in the middle of the controller, just put Peter Pepper on there.
I just can't handle it needs a stand to be laying down.
You just can't get past that.
I can't. It's laying down. Why does it need a stand?
Well, true. I don't know. I'm still interested to see. Like, also, as we go from like the PS4 to the PS4 Pro, how it has that pretty drastically different look. I'm wondering what like secondary revision of the PS5 is going to look like. You know what I mean?
I wonder how long it'll take. Will it take a year, 2 years?
I would say probably 2 years. I don't know. They're putting so much tech into this thing to begin with. I like how there was people complaining about the controller. The controller, I think, looks the best out of the entire thing.
It looks great.
Yeah, controller looks fine to me. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't.
And also, they're adding in features that are in like the pro controllers of this generation, like the Xbox. I forget what it's called. The one that costs like $200. I forget what it's called.
Oh,
And
is it an elite?
the Elite controller. Yeah, they're putting in like functions of those Elite controllers into the base controller of the console. So that's also another cool thing, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've never messed with any of those controllers, so I don't know how I feel about them.
I think the PlayStation has not. They pretty much got the controller right with the PlayStation 2 and haven't really altered form from the PlayStation 2 controller since. You know, they've upgraded everything.
Until they tried to with that creepy looking boomerang thing on the PS3 from
Yeah.
E3 years ago.
And then people were like, nope, we're not having that.
No, thank you.
That thing looked weird. It really did.
But the PlayStation controllers looks fine to me. I mean, I don't have any complaints on that. It's just the system itself just looks just so dang weird to me.
But also keep in mind, I forget when, I think it was when the 360 was getting released, or maybe the original Xbox, they had that E3 press conference where they had that weird literally X-shaped console on the stage. Does anyone else remember that?
I think so.
So we could, like, there could be a complete revision before the console even comes out. We have no idea.
I wonder where those are. Those mock-ups of previous systems. I'm wondering who has those right now. If they're in anyone's private collections,
I would assume
or if they're at the companies. Like, I would think that mock-up of the DS that they showed at E3 one of those years.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That should be in the Nintendo store.
Definitely.
Right next to the bombed Game Boy.
That is such a cool. Yeah, if you ever get the chance to go to the Nintendo store, that is the coolest thing to see in their little museum area.
What is it?
It's a Game Boy that went through the Gulf War. It's like one of the old DMG series Game Boys. It was in the Gulf War, got destroyed. It's pretty much melted, and it still works.
Oh yeah. I've seen pictures of that.
So, and they have it. I don't know how they have it like power supply hooked up, but yeah, it's still working. It's pretty interesting to see.
Nice. All right, we got 4 minutes, 3 minutes. What game should I play this week? If I can play any.
Just the Switch?
Just the Switch. I'm not buying a PS4. I can't. Now I'm in the limbo area of.
Well, I asked because you were thinking about a PS3, and I was like, well, the PS3 has The Last of Us, so you could play that.
That's true. I have a PS3, but in Texas. I'm in Michigan now, so I don't have it with me. I didn't know Last of Us. Why isn't Last of Us being called out then as a cross-generational game, but GTA 5 is?
Probably because GTA 5 is like literally the best-selling game of all time now. Like they've earned so many accolades with that game, then they probably wear it in their sleeve. Rockstar does.
Okay. So, but yeah, Switch. What should I play for the Switch? Can't say Animal Crossing either, because Animal Crossing is a game that you just like kind of chill out to.
I'm looking through my thing here. Journey to the Sap. Wait, no, it's another first person. You're probably not going to like that.
Didn't the Outer Worlds just come out?
First person.
Oh, Xenoblade.
I've tried it once, and the mechanics, I couldn't get the hang of it. Maybe I could try it again though. I need a game that I can buy at a GameStop. Hey, Veronica Castillo, what's up? You're a little late, but always present. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
I know that I don't know if you're still on, if you're on the bandwagon that like me and William are on with the digital, but that game called Rad is really good.
What's it like?
It's kind of like a top-down, I forget what it's called, the roguelike game where the game it changes every time you play.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you play as like I forget what the actual story of it is, but you play as like a teenage boy or girl, and you go out into this like wasteland to just basically see how far you can get. And there's boss monsters and monsters you have to kill, and like different power ups that you can get. I think that game is really fun. Blasphemous is another great one. Super Lucky's Tale, if you like a Crash Bandicoot style game, is amazing.
All right. What about you, William? Any suggestions?
I'm not thinking of anything off the top of my head. Kind of on the spot
Okay, no problem.
because I don't know. Like,
So if you've ever played Shantae, the half genie hero, that one's an amazing game too.
El Barto says play L.A. Noire, which is like the only Rockstar game. I started L.A. Noire, and for some reason I didn't finish it.
because you were looking like specifically for Switch games, weren't you?
Yeah. It's L.A. Noire is on the Switch.
Did you have Binding of Isaac?
No, I don't have that. But isn't that where the kid cries and stuff? It's like a baby
Yeah.
kid.
That game
It's
is
a lot of fun.
It's very fun, but if you get angry at games very quickly, you will throw your Switch across the room. I would tell you.
I better not play it then.
Because I was looking through my collection of mana.
There's a reason why they call that game a bullet hell.
I was thinking of Collection of Mana actually.
Trials of Mana just came out too.
Yeah. But it's 8:00, guys. But I wanted to say shout out to Christian Sims, who joined us a little late in the game as well. We're calling it quits right now. Any final thoughts, anyone?
I'm good.
All good.
David, already just salivating at the thoughts of Last of Us 2. Any final thoughts though?
Play it if you haven't already.
Play it if you haven't already. All right, guys. That's it for today's show. We'll see you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, it's dangerous to go alone. Please share this podcast, this channel with a friend. And yeah, we'll see you later.
Bye.
See ya.